Welcome to another Friday and to UFC Fight Night 126. You completely throw me now, you talking shit. Anyway, yeah, welcome to another UFC Fight Night 126. Cerrone Cowboy versus Yancy Medeiros. Apologies for last week, as I'm not actually in the UK at the minute, and I didn't have, when I arrived to where I am, I had no internet, and then the following day I had no electric. So yeah, that's why it didn't happen last week. Yeah. As you can see, our setup ain't quite the same as what it was in the last few weeks. As you can see, Ronaldo's shrunk.
Still looking fresh though, that haircut.
So he's now talking to me via FaceTime while we do this, and I've set up the iPad so you can sort of see him in a dark dungeon. What? What was that? No, of course it's free, you dickhead. Anyway, we'll go through the usual routine of talking about last week's card, bit of MMA news, and then we'll go through this week's card. We'll go through last week's card first. I'll get up now, quick. Right, obviously we'll start with the main event. Roberto Rockhold. Yeah, he looked, to be honest, I was going to pick Romero had he weighed in on weight, but when he missed weight and he couldn't fight for the belt, I didn't think he'd have the hunger to actually try and win that fight. Who? No, I didn't. I was going to do... Fuck off, shaking your head. I was going to do Romero, and then once I'd seen he'd miss weight, I then changed to Rockhold, because I thought, what is he going to want? Is he going to want to fight as much when you've been told you can't win the belt? And now you're saying that he's probably got the shot anyway. Which, that's crazy. What was the point of even... Yeah, I know, but what's the... Why... Yeah, I know what you're saying, but... Yeah, but then don't say that he can't fucking win the belt then. Because technically, he has won the interim belt because he's got the next shot. How's that fucking work? Classic UFC at the minute. Talk shit. Yeah, but the thing is, UFC are constantly coming out with absolute shit now. They say one thing, and then, because it don't go their way, they backtrack and go, yeah. Romero's got the title shot. It's like, what?
I love it.
It's just fucking... Oh, it's the new WWE fucking E.
Oh, fuck off. Right,
It is, mate. It is. You wait till September when I've said this on the last few shows, when McGregor gets Khabib. Regardless, Ferguson ain't winning that fight. Even if he knocks him out, they'll fucking spin it so he don't fucking...
he's just woke up, guys. Don't worry.
Where does Rockhold go from here?
But he said he was going to the light heavyweight, and I think that's the fucking craziest thing you can do. They're bigger punchers.
Yeah.
And then Gustafsson, this is a bit amazing, but I'm going to wait. This is perfect timing. Gustafsson's come up and said, one way for your teammate who's holding up the division, or obviously Cormier, I'm going to knock you out to keep you warm.
Yeah, well, He's fucking mental if he thinks he can take out Gustafsson. He's fucking mental. I think that extra punch that Romero threw in and knock him out, it sent him a bit. Well, we'll know in due course. Co-main, Hunt and Blades.
Oh my god. First round, I was thinking, what a fight.
Yeah.
He's done what he had to do. But fair enough, he done what he had to do. He won the fight, but yeah, it was boring to watch the last 2 rounds.
Yeah, but for me, it doesn't make Curtis Blades any better of a contender to win that belt.
People reckon the next fight for him should be an Ngannou rematch.
I tell you what, I could see him quite comfortably beating Ngannou.
They've done it before, and obviously he's doing alright. He won't pay over for it. The refs dropped in, I think, but now he knows they ain't got nothing no wrestling, I think. They reckon it'll be a good match.
Well, I thought fair play to Hunt. He did try and make it standing like he always does, but yeah, in the end, obviously, it was no different to the Brock Lesnar fight where he just kept pulling him down and sitting on him. Tai Tuivasa versus Cyril Asker.
I see the press conference after.
What, Tuivasa?
Yeah, so funny.
Yeah, he's like, that's 50 grand's worth. Even that Tyson Pedro.
I do like it, man. He does bring it.
Yeah. But to be fair, watching that fight, he as soon as he hit Matey with a good shot, Matey looked like he nearly cried and just wanted to go home. And the ref would, and there was times, if you really watch it back, there's times where he's taking an absolute beating and he's just looking at the ref almost like, are you going to jump in or not? And the ref's just looking at him like, no. And he's like, oh please, just jump in, please. Oh, it's so funny. Honestly, watch it back and like just look at the faces. Oh, yeah, he looks good. He looks good, that Tai Tuivasa. But again, once you get to the top three, he ain't got it yet. Yeah, he won't fight Hunt. And then you had Jake Matthews versus Li Jingliang. I had that Li Jingliang to win this, but I tell you what, I had Jake Matthews look good because he's never lost at welterweight. He come up to welterweight, didn't he? He's moved. Yeah. No. I think he moved up to welterweight. I think this is his second fight in welterweight, and he looked good. He looked really good. That's fucking awful, wasn't it? He proper had him. I don't know how the ref didn't see it. I'd have took a point. Yeah, I'd have took a point. Wouldn't have stopped the fight. I'd have took a point. But then, yeah, I think the Chinese will just. The thing is, being a non-English speaking country, he'll just sort of blag that he didn't hear him or he didn't understand. He'll say something like that. I'm going through the main card at the minute because that's all I could have seen. That's the only part I saw. Because where I am, I can only get to see the main card, so I don't get to see the prelims now. Move of the night was on this fight, and that's that Tyson Pedro versus Safarov. Safarov. That Kimura was wicked. It was wicked because the way he done it, watching it live, he was punching and it looked like he grabbed his arm and then he just fell. And I thought, what? As he slipped. The next thing, he's cranked it, and he's like, bosh, he slipped into a Kimura. It's like, what? And it's just the brute strength of him. Just twisted matey's arm. No, I've said he's good anyway. You can go back on podcasts. Are you movie red so you're looking at the iPad? Otherwise, you're not moving. It looks like you're fucking... It looks like I've just got a picture next to me of you. Yeah, sadly he's not here, so I've just hung a picture up next to me. You should be looking at the iPad the whole time. No, I said he was good, and in the last fight he had, he looked fucking awful. That's what I said. Well, we'll get there in the end. Hold tight. Fucking hell, I'm off the other side of the world, and fucking you're still churning out shit. Damian Brown, Dong Hyun Kim. I don't even know who won that. What's that? Is he the Korean zombie? Oh. Then you got Rob Wilkinson, Azriel, Adesanya. Still yawning, even though I'm the other side of the world. Yeah, go on then. I'll give you the mate's name. He looks alright. Alexander Volkanovski versus Jeremy Kennedy. Who won that?
What?
Alexander Volkanovski. Okay. That was featherweight, and then you had Formiga, Ben and Goyen. That was a good move as well. Yeah, it was nice. No. Oh yeah, he did, yeah, but he dropped it with a spinning back fist. So I see that then. Yeah, I know he did. That's why he didn't. That's why he didn't win. Ross Pearson beat Mizuto Haruta. No, he won on a decision. Surprise, surprise. Teruto Ishihara versus Jose Quinones. I think he dropped him twice when I looked on the stats. Well, I looked on the stats and he dropped him twice, and I think he outlanded him, and yet he lost on decision. It's like, what the fuck has he got to do to win? How do you drop someone twice and lose? And then the first fight... Yeah, exactly. Luke Jamiu versus Daichi Ab. I don't know who won that. Yeah, it's the first fight past prelim. Oh, fuck off. These giant ants are everywhere. On my laptop, on my arm. Cunts. Right, let's get a fight. Right, well, while I'm searching for this, Ronaldo MMA news.
You're wondering why I'm sitting in a dark room. It's because
Because the glare, they wouldn't have been able to see you. Let's bring some light on the subject. You MMA news. Smooth. Alex Craceres. Well, Alex Bruce Lee. Could be Ferguson. Yeah, could be Ferguson. No, they'll get it set up. Could be McGregor.
Alright. And then Nunes Pennant, they're trying to get, it's a rumour that it's going to be UFC 224 main event.
Because of the belt, yeah. That'd be a good fight. In Brazil. Whoa. Let's hold those horses back for a second. Is that the one that's in May? In Rio?
Yeah, the one I told you about.
Yeah, okay. Right. What, Borrachino? Yeah. Who's fighting him? Uriah Hall. Yeah, that's a mismatch there, but go on.
I know he's just woken up, but fucking hell, get with him, mate.
Fuck you, it's 5 o'clock in the morning, you prick. Go on.
Sounds like it. Right, Holloway's obviously out at UFC 222.
Holloway, yeah, against that guy, yeah. So it's Ortega, isn't it?
Yeah, Ortega's pulled out.
Yeah, definitely pulled out, okay. T-Money's, T-City's, T-Money, T-City's taking over. Yeah, just said that, but crack on. Probably not, but great.
Probably not. And yeah, that's obviously the main event. Ortega against the opponent event, which is UFC 22, and Gustafsson calls out Rockhold, as I said earlier.
Yeah.
And that's all the MMA news. Obviously, Gara was supposed to fight, but they're trying to get him Peterson rematch for UFC 22. Didn't happen. Peterson didn't want to do it.
Well, you can only say that through sources.
Trust me, he didn't want it.
Alright, well, okay. Right. Shall we go onto the card?
Yeah, waiting on you.
Right. Before we start, when I was looking on my research, the early fight prelims weren't even on there. There wasn't even mentioned of any early fight prelims. So with that, I didn't do any. But then I found out it was Joshua Burkman versus
Alex Morono.
yeah.
Have you done stats or not?
No, I just said fucking hell. You said about me waking up.
I'm doing it.
No, I haven't.
Joshua Burkman. I don't know how to say this, but what a load of shit.
Yeah, he's 29-16. He's done loads of fights.
It's obviously a welterweight fight.
Yep.
In his 29 wins, he's 10 submissions, so it seems that he's pretty better on the ground. He's 37 years old, 5'10", and out of his last 11 fights, he's won 1, lost 9, and had 1 no contest.
Fucking hell.
He lost his last 5 fights in the UFC.
And not one of us has put Alex Morono on the bet. Are we mental?
Oh, I am.
No, you ain't.
No, I was going to do it if you couldn't get that Oskar Piechota or whatever.
Piechota.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, he's next to 9. But, yeah, he's won his last 9 fights.
who? Morono?
He's won 7. Yeah, Alex Morono.
Well, fucking hell. It's almost... If ever there's... Not that anything's guaranteed on the UFC, apart from Khabib Ferguson... Khabib McGregor in September. You've got to go Morono, surely.
Yeah, he's won his last 7 out of his 9.
Burkman almost seems like...
Won a contest. He's younger by 10 years. He's 27. He's a taller man. He's 5'11". He's a bit of an all-rounder, it seems like. He's had a 5 4 knockouts, 3 decisions, and 1 disqualification. That's all his wins.
Fucking hell. It's almost like Burkman's thrown in as a bit of meat to keep the fucking Tigers fed while they're waiting for other fighters.
I wouldn't say Morono was a tiger.
No, but I'm on about... Just, you know what I mean?
Get this there.
Well, don't question it then, you dickhead. The other... That's the second fight pass prelim. The first one is Oskar Piechota versus Tim Williams.
Right. It's the middleweight fight. That Kyle,
Yeah, he's Polish.
sick. We've seen him fight at UFC when still Northcutt Cerrone was the UFC gang.
Gangs, yeah, in Poland, yeah.
Yeah. He was a nat. He did good. I remember you saying about he looked good, but he's got shit memory.
Yeah.
Fucking goldfish. But 10-9.
Welcome, another Friday night, UFC Fight Night 126. You said I got a shit memory, mate. I was just going back through it. Yeah, it's Oskar Piechota, yeah. Nice. Well, he's actually undefeated as well, isn't he? Because he's had a 1-no contest. Mhm. Okay. Fucking hell. So you're saying Piechota? Right, okay. Moving on to the first fight of the prelims. Sarah Moras versus Lucie Pudilova. You would have done. The last time she fought was against Ji Kim, who fought the other week. Because I said to you about that Kim, she could take a punch. And she beat Quiche in the last fight that she had. Yeah, she shouldn't have, but like I said, she could take a punch. Pudilova beat her by decision. And the only loss she's had, well, she's had 2. The only loss that anyone would know of is that Lena Landsberg. Okay. Moraes is ranked 13, and this is in the Bantamweight division. From Canada, so we know the Canadians like to have a brawl. Got some good fighters that come out of there. This is Moraes' 4th fight, and she's won 2, beating Ashley Lee Evans Smith. And the notable loss that she's had is against Andrade, which was a decision. So obviously, yeah, I said most recent. Yeah, exactly, yeah. No. Yeah. I think Moras will win because even though Pudilova's record's 7-2, she's not that good of a fighter. She leaves her face open to bunges because that Korean was catching her. Yeah, but the last fight, I'm going off the last few fights. The very last fight with that Ji Kim, a lot of people even thought that Kim won because it was quite tight, but somehow Pudilova won by unanimous. Literally, I think it was like 30-29 all the way through. The only reason I didn't contest it was because she's on my bet. You have to repeat that because when I'm talking, you can't talk, mate. Yeah, that's what I've just said. And she's ranked 13. She's ranked, which don't always mean shit, but yeah. But that Pudilova takes too many punches, so I wouldn't be surprised if it's actually a finish because the amount of punches she takes. But if I was pushed, I would say it's the decision. Yeah, I know. Right, then we got the Sanchez derby next. It's Roberto versus Joby. Well, let me take it from here. Roberto Sanchez, sorry. That's a good start. Let me take it from here. I can't even say his name. He's not had the best of starts in the UFC because the only fight he's had, he's lost, and he lost by round 1 submission against Joseph Moraes. He's 7-1, so he obviously lost his clean record in that fight. And Joby is 11-2, and he's coming in from Dana White's Tuesday Night Contender, and he's on a 2-win streak. But the 2 fights he won were both in the Dana White Tuesday Night Contender. So this is his actual first fight in the octagon in the big leagues, where the other guys obviously won his contract and lost his first fight. So I don't know how this is going to play out to a degree, because they're pretty both unknown.
Yeah, I don't like the one on Tuesday Night Contender.
Some of them just go in crazy. They don't give a shit like that, mate. We saw the other week. Yeah, it's like because he had a name, like you said, because he was called Steamroller or whatever. He went out thinking, I'm going to live up to my name, and he got steamrolled. I might lean towards, even though matey's got a better record in 11-2, 7-1, 11-2. It's not very much in it. It's just more fights. I might lean towards Roberto more, just because he's had that experience. Even though he lost in a round 1 submission, I think that little bit of experience might pay dividends.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Brilliant. Next fight is Geoff Neal, Brian Camozzi. Okay. Right, well, Camozzi, whenever I see him, he seems to lose. No, he's just plain Jane from Spain. You need to get your head a little bit. Plain Jane from Spain. Can you sit a bit closer to the thing anyway? You look like a fucking statue with your arm like that, and you don't move. Just looks like I've got a digital fucking picture frame, and it changes every so often. It changes a picture, and it's just you in a different pose. Fucking hell. Anyway, Brian Camozzi. This is his 3rd fight, and he's lost 2 already. Well, he's lost 2 for 2 apparently, but I might not have expanded the history. But the last 2 he's fought, he lost to Chad Laprise and Randy Brown, which they're not the best fighters. Geoff Neal, 8-2, is his 2nd fight, and he won his first fight in the first round KO against Chase Walden. So, really?
Yeah.
No, I'm going to disagree on that. I'm going to say Geoff Neal. Just every time I watch Camozzi, he loses. And that's a welterweight battle. Don't know. Right, onto the lightweight belt now. And that is Jared Gordon versus Diego Ferreira. USA versus Brazil. What's that? Jared.
Yeah, that's it. It's 5-5 win streak. He's had 6 knockouts, 2 submissions, 6 decisions. It's a lightweight battle.
Yeah, but that thing is right. Let me just interrupt there. The only 2 that I've got that he's fought recently are that Hokran Diaz, whatever his name is, and Michael Quinones, who he TKO'd. They're not big names, but crack on. Yeah. Yeah, I see that there are only 2 losses. Yeah, but the last fight he did win was against that Olivier Aubin Mercier. Well, just saying. Right, well. What, just because Ferreira's had a... Fucking hell. I didn't look at the date on the last fight, I was doing it quite late.
buddy.
Yeah. Moving on to the main card. First fight is, I think, is Super Sage Northcutt. He was due to fight before, and then I think the opponent pulled out. And he's fighting Thibault Gouti from France. From France. Yeah, I said that already. Classic Ronaldo saying. Mhm. Yeah, but he's only had 4 fights in the UFC. Well, he's 1-3 in the UFC and has lost to some shit fighters. And the last fight, he's lost 3, and he won his last fight against someone called Andrew Holbrook by a round 1 KO. He didn't lose his last fight, he won it.
No, I'm saying that 3 fights he's lost, maybe 2 of them being by someone, the others by knockout, so he may finish 3 times on the 3 losses.
Yeah, but Super Sage hasn't finished too many people.
What, 7 out of his 9?
What, been finishers?
Yeah. 4 KOs and 3 submissions.
Oh, I didn't expand.
Research, buddy.
Well, he's 4-2 in the UFC, but he obviously the problem is with that stat is that you've got to look at what weight he was fighting, because obviously he moves up and down, doesn't he? That was the problem. He was just eager beaver fucking to get a fight. So on this card at the minute we got an eager beaver and a plain Jane from Spain. It's a fucking nightmare.
I've got Northcutt to win this one.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. If he's still at, yeah, and he's had longer to proper train with. He's had longer to train with Team Alpha if he's still there. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's correct, sir. That's right, sir. Okay, sir. I hope to get the win for you, sir. I didn't. He was supposed to fight the last couple of months back though, wasn't he? And mate, he pulled out, didn't he?
I'm not sure. I thought that was the fight before that.
Because I remember people were saying like, "Oh, we shouldn't be taking this fight because it's maybe going in a bit too deep," and mate, he pulled out quite late. So I remember hearing people like your favourite Rogan saying, "Oh, I don't think he's gonna win this. He's going in too deep." Right, next one on the main is Stephen Peterson versus Brandon Davis. Hit me with your stats. Well, they're both Yanks. Peterson's 15-6. Davis is 8-3. Peterson, now to get ego. He lost on the Dana White Tuesday Night Contender, but still gets a shot on the UFC.
That's fucking stupid.
But the only thing I can think of, because I didn't see a lot of that Tuesday night thing, is that I did find out that he lost in a split. So maybe it was a good fight that was hard to call. And yeah, and it was also almost like they both got given the contract maybe. And that Brendan Davis is off of Dana White Tuesday Night Contender. That's the old clock kicking in, mate. Tuesday White, that's I think it's Dana White's daughter. Yeah, he's another Dana White Tuesday Night Contender, but lost his first fight in the UFC after winning the contract, and he lost to Kyle Bochniak. Yeah, I think the one he was on was Cormier, Miocic. Yeah, yeah, but Cormier was on it as well, wasn't he? Yeah. Yeah. Oh, okay. Makes sense then. That makes sense if he's coming that quick. Yeah. Yeah, makes sense. I would lean towards Davis. Just again, like I did earlier, the experience of being in there in front of a proper crowd and on telly and shit. But, you know, if Peterson's lost on a split, maybe he's alright. And, you know, how many decisions we've seen and it's gone the wrong way. Maybe that happened. Who knows? I'll tell you who knows. People that watch Tuesday Night Contender. Right, the next fight on the card is Thiago Alves versus Curtis Millender at welterweight. Yeah, I remember watching it when I was younger. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Millender. Yeah, there's 5 inches in it, yeah. Well, his takedown accuracy, I know you don't like the website, but they're saying Curtis Millender, his takedowns 100%. Takedowns defended, he's 75%. Okay. Alright, fucking hell. Yeah. Not if he doesn't fucking beat him. Alves. Thiago. He's fought some good fighters, Alves, to be fair. Yeah. Well, that seems to be the theme. More experience. If it looks like a tight fight, we're going, well, I've done it on 2, gone with experience. You're welcome. James Vick versus Francisco Trinaldo is the Coco main. Sorry, my digital picture's playing up. It's moved to a new fucking pose. He's a plain Jane from Spain again. He's just so grey that people don't even realise he's in there. See, what you just said about height advantage for Thiago Alves, this is another Yank versus Brazilian. He's got a 6-inch height advantage on Trinaldo. Okay. But if no one's that's where the UFC shit in that they're like, oh, but they won't take the fight. Well, then you don't fucking fight for the UFC. It's not a pick and choose fucking option. That's where the ranking system fucks up because they don't stick to it. You either stick to it or you don't. You know, you can't do a bit of both. You just can't do it because it's fighters like that James Vick that's going to struggle because he's not a name. People don't want to fight him because they're not going to get any money out of it if they beat him. And for him, he can't get the big names because they don't want to fight him purely because he's not a name. And like you say, he's got all these wins, and he's trying to go up the ladder to get those fights. And the UFC are just like, oh, he doesn't want it. It's like, well, fucking sack him then, because it's not a fucking.
I think he fought Darush. That was the biggest fight. He got knocked out in the first round.
So, Darush ain't high on the ranking. Yeah, no, but I'm just getting to the point of, you know, he's going to be stuck in this vicious circle of fighting 10 to 15 ranked fighters and never progressing, because if he does beat them, they're going to go, well, he's only 12 and you're 10. And he's going to go, right, well, give me 8 or 7. They're going to go, nah, they don't really like you, mate. They don't think you're good enough.
You know what? If he wins this, I'm giving that Russian match at them, or whatever you call that kind of league. He knocked someone out in the first round on like 220 or whatever.
Okay.
It's like one of, even though the other mate, he ain't really up there, but it's a good fight.
Yeah, no, but he ain't going to want that. If he wins this, he'll try and cook. But I think the UFC have just got to bite their fucking tongue and go, right, like, there you go, like you just said. Right, there you go, there's Barbosa. Knowing full well he'll probably lose. And if he loses, then they can turn around and go, look, that's why we don't give you these fights. Because you're good, but you're not good enough.
Yeah.
But they won't give him that fight. He's better to have that fight and learn than to never have that fight. Because then you don't know. If he gets that shock win, all of a sudden everyone's like, oh, he beat Barbosa. Right, here we go then.
No, he's up there, isn't he?
Yeah. But if the UFC is so convinced, it's not worth giving out these fights to him because he ain't that good, then fucking what's the point? You know what I mean? You might as well just let him have a chance and see what happens. Fuck me, we've seen some fucking... In the last couple of years, there's been some crazy fucking results. So, yeah, we'll see. It'll be interesting to see if he does win, what he says at the end. Even though I don't like him. If you're watching James Vick, I hear you joking. Don't hurt me. You lanky piece of piss. The thing is, I think he'll win just because I think he's from Texas as well. And it's in Texas, Austin. Yep.
Honestly, I don't know anything about America. Apart from I want to go to Florida. Like,
What, so you can look at the Hulk ride in Universal and go, oh, amazing. Yeah, so we'll go through that shortly. Co-main, Derek Lewis versus Marcin Tybura, whose last fight was against Verdum, which was a decision that he lost. Yeah, it was boring. He looks alright, it's just Verdum was a bit more active, that was all. He was just more active. If he'd have fought a bit more, he could have easily probably won it, if not, you know what I mean, made it a lot tighter. But what are your thoughts? Because I've not done too much on it.
well, I think Derek Lewis, before his last fight against Conor, he got knocked out. I actually liked him. I thought he was alright. He from the fight. But then, obviously, he had stomach shit every fight. I think, what the fuck was that?
Thing is, he complains about his back all the time as well.
Yeah, I just think it's one of them where he doesn't want it. Like, it's two different people. Like, it's like Cerrone, you don't want it, then you do it.
He just
I know it sounds
doesn't show up, yeah. Who? See, I disagree. After watching him against Verdum and going, he's definitely got stamina. I don't think Derek Lewis has, and we're still in uncharted waters with Lewis off of this back injury. Is he fully complete from this back injury? Because the moment, like you said, the moment something happens, it don't go his way, he'll just start pulling up with his back and go, oh, my back's out. He's a funny guy to listen to in interviews. He's quite funny. But I think that Thibault will take him the distance and beat him on decision. Yeah, which is why that Thai Tuivasa was slating it, going they should not be going the distance. He goes, the division is shit. He goes, a heavyweight should never ever go the distance because of how heavy they are and how hard they punch. But I've got Thibault, even though he didn't beat Verdum, he's got good stamina for a heavyweight. And so he's lighter than Lewis, but they're the same height, so there's no height advantage like you do get with some heavyweights. So for me, I just think, I know it's probably not the favoured route on this bet, and I think a lot of people will have Derek Lewis, but I think Thibault is going to win this.
That's what Matt Sarah said.
What's that? He's younger as well, and that Lewis is too hot and cold. 1 minute he's fucking. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. He obviously can do a job, but the last few fights he's had, he just hasn't looked all there. It looks like he's just struggling to, or he's took a punch and gone, nah, I don't want to be in here. Fuck that, and then opted out and just gave up. Might do, but what I'm saying is he'll outlast him. And the heavyweight, sometimes, it's down to endurance. And he ain't. Well, he's got. I think he'll win on decision, I really do. Because, well, we'll find out tomorrow night. Right, moving on to the main fight of the night, the Fight Night 126 in Texas, Austin, or Austin, Texas, I should say, because it's a state. It's Cowboy Cerrone, Donald, versus Yancy Medeiros. After that barnstormer against Oliveira, where they were both bashing the shit out of each other, both getting dropped, both getting up. Oh man. Yeah. Medeiros had the bigger heart. But now he's headlining and Holloway ain't there on the same card because the last two fights they've been on fighting together, haven't they? Is that going to make a difference? Is he not going to have all the support that's normally there for Holloway? Because you think how many people were coming with Holloway being a champion, and now he's almost on his own because Holloway ain't going to be there. Yeah, but and the fact you're fighting Cowboy, even though he's just lost his last one because he could be asked. Well, I think he probably is going to win. Yeah, but Cerrone does look good for his age, and he always does when he fights. But the problem is, like I said to you before he's fought Till, sometimes he takes a punch, again, same as Derek Lewis, takes a punch and thinks, I'm fucking too old for this shit. I don't need to be taking these punches, and gives up. That Darren Till fight, he gave up. That really didn't show off how good Darren Till is.
Yeah, I just think the only thing with Cerrone at Medeiros, I don't think's really seen that. But obviously, I think Medeiros has fought with big names, but obviously it's different now. But where Medeiros does, he's a bit like Alves, he gets hurt in every fight. But I think people like Romero who's been fighting, they've not. I don't think their standards been, their striking's been like good enough to put them away. But Cerrone is good enough to put someone away. Like if you're hurt, he'll put you away.
Yeah, he can throw some good... Yeah, that was a great combo. But you can't keep circling back to that same combo because he's yet to reproduce it.
Oh yeah, no, but I'm saying, who's more, if someone's hurt, who's more likely to finish the fight, Cerrone or fucking Oliveira?
I don't know, because you think how hurt he was against Oliveira.
I get what you're saying, but I just think Cerrone's who wants it a bit more now. He knows this is one of his last. If he loses against 4 fights in a row, he's going to be in the cut soon. Don't think he'll cut, but if there's any other fighter, he'd be cut by now. So that Will Brooks been cut, isn't it?
MMA News was about 40 minutes ago, mate.
No, I just remember. I don't really want to put it in, but I'm not going to get cut. Undefeated, going, or he's doing Bellator champion, signing UFC, lost every fight, cut, fuck off.
Yeah, but that's what happens when you're fighting the old fucking granddads over at Bellator. I just think Medeiros looked so good in that fight against Oliveira. The fact that he took all that damage early on and still come back to win. It was more impressive than fucking what they say about Elkins against Bektic. Oh my god, amazing. No, he literally stood there and took a beating. At least Medeiros was throwing punches and dropping him at the same time. And getting dropped proper and then getting up and coming back from it. Not fucking just standing there and being a boxing bag for fucking 2 third rounds. And then getting a lucky fucking kick. It's actually, you know, for what fights there are on this card, you know, the ones I'm looking forward to more than anything will be Northcutt, see if he's improved. Obviously, I'll see how the heavyweight one goes, because they need something to happen just to give that division a bit more depth. And obviously, this fight is a good fight. You could have easily put this on an undercard of a bigger fight night, and it would have still been talked about, because it is a good fight. Has Cerrone got anything left in the tank? Has Medeiros got what he's shown? Alright then. Alright, what do you do with Cerrone if he does win then? Because obviously, if he fights too high up, he probably gets finished. What, and use him as like the test the waters for the younger ones, to sort of say, right, if you are good, you should be able to beat him. If you can't beat him, but he's not going to beat Woodley.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. If you give him a couple of them fights where it's not rank 15 around there or just out and they're trying to get in or whatever, and they've had a few wins, give them him. If he wins 2 or 3 of them fights, then give him maybe a bigger name, maybe like Oskar Nelson or Santiago Pudilova or whatever. So that's what I'll do.
Okay, right. Well, we'll move on to the betting slips in a second. We'll give next week a mention. I do believe it's Orlando next week.
Oh, what it's a fight night, but what a card. Honestly, you look at it, every fight's got a name. And the fight of the week next week is Horizontal, what a fight. Perry, Company's on there, what a fucking fight. Joshua, Emmett, and Stevens, what a fight.
So it's gonna be not UFC Fight Night 127 or UFC Fox on Sport 28 or whatever the fuck it is. It's gonna be UFC Fight Night. What a fight night. Right. Let's move on to the betting slips. So yeah. Yeah. Crazy. Right, here's the betting slip for this week. Yep. So we'll go through Ronaldo's hat-trick bet. I do believe you wanted them all just to win, yeah? Right, well, he's gone with Oskar Piechota to win, James Vick to win, and Sage Northcutt to win. £10 gets you 25 and 67p. He was close on the last one. Did you have one that let you down? On the last, not last week's one, but the one before that. Did you have one fighter let you down? I think it was the main event, wasn't it? It was Piechota. I think you had the other two in. Because you had Anders. Yeah, well, we got no proof of that, so he could be just spouting shit. Right, anyway. Yeah, that's Ronaldo's treble, so it's 25.67 for a tenner. Do you think it's going to come in this time? This one you're more confident than normal. Piechota, Vick, Northcutt. So you'll yet to have one this year as well, aren't you? Right. Yeah, to save up for one of the UFC cards. Well, my fourfold is Northcutt by KO sub, Vick just to win, Marcin Tybura to win by decision, and Yancy Medeiros to win by KO. What? Oh, fucking hell. 158.88. I don't know what it would be if you chucked on a fivefold, 1 to 3 added to that, so you're getting 10, 20, 30, 40. You get another 50 quid. So it'll be over the £200 mark if you chucked in Ronaldo's Oskar Piechota onto mine to make it a fivefold. Yeah, if you're doing them, good luck. Ronaldo's laughing. Oh, wrong one. What's that? Yeah, Eubank Grow, so we'll talk a bit of boxing quick. We've got a little quick 5-10 minutes. But if he wins this, he actually gains a big belt. And then the thing is, he'll want that, because then once this is all finished, if he ends up winning it, is that Liam Smith got a belt? Callum Smith, sorry. So basically, Eubank, if he was to win, takes the only belts going into it, into the final. So what's the other guy got? The German that's fighting Smith. Has he got belts? The German guy. So basically, it's this fight, Groves Eubank, that's actually only one's got the belts in.
There's only one belt where Eubank's got a belt, but it's the fifth one. There's 4 main ones.
Yeah. I'm not worried about what belts. I'm just saying belts.
3 belts, one Eubank, one Gross, but they're the only belts that are in their tournament.
Right. Yeah, if he wins, then it gives him a bit of leverage as well. So if he wins this whole tournament, comes out with that belt, he's then got a bit of leverage to try and get.
Yeah. I didn't realise how big this fight was.
What grows? Yeah. Yeah. I remember you saying.
It's a massive fight. It's like, I'd say it's like a fucking Josh
Okay. Well, it's the inaugural Muhammad Ali trophy. It's the first ever one they've done, and obviously him dying last year and stuff like that. That's why it's going to be big as well, because it's got Muhammad Ali's name to it. Well, there you go. I think Eubank will win. I haven't watched. Exactly. Okay, well, having watched what we've watched, which was Murray Groves, which was awful. And the thing is, Groves, the last 2 or 3 fights that stick out of my head, he's looked average. He's got the wins, but he's looked average. Where Eubank seems to impress me more, but I don't know if that first fight that he fought in this tournament was actually any pedigree or not, because, yeah, even though he'd knocked him out of a body punch or whatever, it was like, he didn't look great, that Turk or whatever the fuck he was. He's a good trainer, but like some of them have said on the Twitter and that, so what if you can throw fucking X amount of punches in so many seconds? It's a bit different when you got someone throwing back at you. But people saying that as well, it's like, you know, he can fucking move, he can dodge, he can land. We've seen it. He's exciting to watch. I hope he does win, because he's actually exciting to watch. I'd pay again to go and watch him quite comfortably, because he's well exciting. Yeah, that can either go. That can go both ways. If you're on your own, you've got no one telling you the wrong strategy, and you go out and lose. You can only work it out yourself, and you only got yourself to blame. And if he's done it the whole time he's been fighting, then obviously he knows what he's doing. Yeah, the thing is as well, is Eubank works all your body. It's not just headshots. He works everything. So he's going to make, if they think there's a stamina issue, he'll work the body and make sure there's a stamina issue in the later rounds. And then he'll if he goes for points and just outpoints him, then he's got that chance of doing it more, because obviously he'd have worn him down. But it'll be a good fight. It's probably, really, I bet they're gutted this ain't the final, really. With the belt on the line and that, this would have been a better final. Huh? Do you think the winner of this is the winner of the whole tournament? It's theirs to lose. Is he?
Yeah, I don't know how, why, or
It
whatever.
wouldn't have been through that fight, I can say that now. He would have been putting a camera through that fight, trust me. Right. What are you going with then if I push you for a thing, Eubank or not?
Oh yeah, I'm going Eubank decision. I think Rose quite tough.
Decision's probably your better choice. I'd like to see him finish him. But okay. That is everything. We're going to wrap it up now. You jumping on Fortnite? I might not be able to jump on it. 6:10. In the morning for me, yeah. Yeah, right. I'll be on it, but not straight away because I've got things to do first. Right. Other than my personal life on YouTube,
Wait there. He wakes up at 6 every morning to play Fortnite. That's how sad he is, guys.
no, I don't, you fucking wanker. Right. If you're watching the card, obviously, hope you enjoy it. If you're watching Eubanks Groves fight, what time's that fight? Or what? That's when they ring walk. Right. Okay. If you're watching that, obviously, come on, Eubanks Junior. We'll see you all next week for the Orlando card, Emmett versus Jeremy Stevens, with a host of other good fights according to Ronaldo. We'll be here at the same time in different places like we are now. I'll sort my digital picture out, make sure it works properly. If you come on with the same top next week, that'd be hilarious, because they'll be like, what? His digital picture frame's on again. Yeah, cheers for tuning in if you have. Cheers for watching, and like, subscribe and all that crap. And we'll see you both. We'll see you all both. That's how confident I am. There's two people watching, you and me. We'll see you both next week. I am looking at the camera. You're posing again. It's gone back to pose 4 of the 6. Yeah, we're out, and good luck if you're doing the bets, and we'll see you all next week. We're still on air, you dickheads.